Hi Pavan, it's a pleasure to have you here with us today at the second edition of the India PropTech Demo Day 2025 curated by RealtyNXT. White Lotus Group today has become synonymous when it comes to design-led spaces in the luxury segment, and your entrepreneurial vision has been central to building that brand identity completely. So I have a few questions for you to kick off this conversation.
Sure.
You've built White Lotus on a design-led philosophy, right? What inspired you to take this unconventional route?
Firstly, it's a pleasure to be here. I love the whole action around here. And thank you for this. I'm a first generation entrepreneur. So I didn't become a property developer because I wanted to be a developer or I had a family background of development, right?
Mm-hmm.
I come from a small middle class family. So fundamentally, I became a developer because of a need of my own home.
Okay.
So when I sold my previous startup and I came into money, my parents were behind my life actually to buy a home. In the whole process, I ended up becoming a developer because I saw a huge gap. So in that whole journey is where I realized that, people are not really addressing the core fundamentals of the need, right? Which is what are people looking at in their home? People are looking at a good design,
Yes.
a good quality, being delivered on time.
Absolutely.
People are not addressing the quality and design aspect at all because the traditionally it's been such a legacy industry and the barriers to entry have been so bad that people have been only focusing on let's see. Okay. What's quality, what design, nobody has been focused.
It should be an unsaid byproduct.
Exactly. So that is where we saw a big, and particularly we have been from 2014 when I found this company, we have always been in the bespoke luxury segment, which is the 5 crore plus segment.
Absolutely.
In that segment, we see that the customers are quite evolved and they travel a lot and they understand this product as a design and they give emphasis on that. So that became our fundamental DNA. Even 11 years on, we still say we are not builders, we are a design-led product company. Our product happens to be a home, and that has really served us well.
That's very, very beautiful and very insightful. Well, my next question is, as a jury member at the IPDD second edition, what excites you most about watching startups pitch live?
So one thing is, as a engineer and a entrepreneur myself, I'm a graduate from IIT Madras and I'm quite passionate about startups. I still go back to my college to deliver talks and be part of a lot of startup events. So this is something which has always been quite close to my heart. Startups innovating and all of that. I've been a senior entrepreneur myself. So one thing is exciting. One thing is of course lacking in this industry is not many startups have tried to solve the tech part of it. So the tech embracement has been very slow, right? I mean, pretty much negligible, which is changing quite a bit. So that is what is exciting for me to be part of this event, to see all these startups who are actually looking at real estate and trying to bring in tech for solving problems. Right? Earlier, otherwise, people always used to look at real estate as a sort of an industry where you don't want to touch that industry.
It's a boring industry.
Exactly, and nobody wants to bring tech for God's sake, actually, right?
Yeah.
So that's quite, heartwarming to see, in the last couple of years, very interesting startups which are trying to bring tech into that. So yeah, quite excited to be part of this, and we ourselves are building a big tech team at White Lotus to solve a lot of problems actually and to improve efficiencies and how can we like a design-led company, right? So we do a lot of customizations and a lot of designs. How can we do this live in front of a client, right? Rather than just going back and forth for weeks and all of that. So we are trying to solve that tech problem. So it is interesting to actually see all of them and probably take away some ideas and all.
I'm excited to take a demo of that in the future.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, and what's your advice for the PropTech founders here who dream of working with developers like White Lotus?
So I think again you need to go back to the basics, go back to first principle thinking, which is fundamentally what does a developer want to do? Right? A developer wants to deliver a home to a consumer.
Right.
What does that need? That needs good clear land titles, which is what the developer brings to the table, solves the problem. Good design.
Correct.
Good quality.
Right.
And delivery on time.
Right.
I think fundamentally the startup should not lose sight of this fourth thing, because it's very easy when you are building something to get lost in the whole noise and think that you're trying to solve some crazy problem, but in the end it boils down to these four things. So any problem which is addressing these four basics, right, in whatever form, you might be trying to solve a big thing, fine, but if you're not addressing any of this, then these are the problems the developer is facing, right? If you're trying to improve my efficiency and improve my margins, I love it.
Right.
If you're trying to automate a lot of my work and reduce my dependency on manpower, I like it. If you are trying to make my design much more faster and my drawings much more faster, I love it. If you are able to integrate a lot of tech into the whole land title process and the buying process, I love it, right? Anything else is an add-on for me today, right? So I feel that, my advice would be startups, I think they should need to focus on these fundamentals today and try to build on top of that rather than trying to solve some crazy problem of the future, because the adoption has been so slow and, people are not even scratched the surface.
Correct.
Let's start with the basics. So I think if you are able to address any of these basics, long way to go.
The beauty lies in the simplicity.
Absolutely. All the more in our industry, actually.
Absolutely. Okay, great. So now, what message would you like to give Kritika Singh Rawat and the entire RealtyNXT team for curating this platform?
So one thing is, I love that they are trying to focus on the tech part, right? Otherwise, traditionally, a lot of companies have just been focusing on awards, which is the designs and architect focus, developer focus, these kind of things, maybe promoter focus sort of a thing. So I love that she's focusing on the startups which are actually trying to address the tech problem.
Right.
So I don't think anybody is trying to do that. So I love what they're doing. I think this should become like a long-term thing, and this should become like a incubation sort of a thing for RealtyNXT, where it's not just an yearly event. Maybe they should do some sort of an incubation cell where people just come there and developers are part of it, right? So part of a platform where we know that there is this RealtyNXT platform. Maybe every month, maybe I can just go to their incubation cell and start looking at ideas rather than yearly thing, right? Because tech in real estate is a very long-term game, right?
Right.
So for that, I don't think this can be just a year thing. Maybe they should really think of embracing this like a incubation cell, right? And start having startups pitch to them every week and all. That would be really interesting. We'd love to be part of
That's a very interesting idea. I'm sure Kritika will take it up.
Yeah.
And lastly, how are you liking the vibe of the floor today?
Oh, absolutely awesome. Really excited to meet a lot of people around here and the tech companies which are here, and here all the pitches here around here, all the companies which have come for pitches. Really, I love the energy around here actually. It's a welcome change for real estate industry.
Amazing. That was it. Thank you so much for having us here today and have a lovely day.
Thank you so much. Please, all the best to you.
Thank you.